What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to our Carolina Panthers Madden 24 franchise rebuild. We are now in the wild card week. We ended the season in our last game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, losing 34-27 in a game we should have won, much like that Jacksonville one, but we threw it away late. I got no excuse for that. We just handed them that game on a silver platter. So, season's over. We're going to get the playoffs done today. We're going to check out the stats, see how everybody performed this season. You see there the NFC South standings. Falcons finished 14-3, Saints 8-9, Buccaneers 7-10, and Carolina 5-12. All right, and one of the first moves we're going to make this offseason, we are going to fire defensive coordinator Darren Young. All right, and to replace Darren Young, we are going to hire defensive coordinator Adam Rodgers. We're going to keep Andre Weaver for probably another season, see what happens on offense. The offense wasn't terrible. We actually had a pretty average offense. We're going to give Frank Wright some time. It was his first year. We're not going to call for his head just yet. All right, and let's start by taking a look at our Carolina Panthers stats from this last season. We're going to start here with our quarterback, Bryce Young, just over 4,000 yards in his rookie year, 26 touchdowns, 49, and an NFL record. Interceptions, finished with 49% completion percentage, averaged just under 240 a game. Not great, showed flashes, 50 sacks in his 17 games. Miles Sanders, of course, the new all-time single-season Panther rushing record holder. He now has 1543 with 15 touchdowns, only one fumble. That was pretty nice, and I think that last fumble came in the last game on 325 carries. Bryce had just under 100 yards rushing with 9 fumbles. Receiving, we are led by tight end Hayden Hurst, who came in and had 908 yards with 6 touchdowns. Followed closely by Adam Thielen with 714 and 4 touchdowns. Terrence Marshall finished here in third, 565 and 1 touchdown. Got to get more touchdowns to Terrence Marshall. DJ Chark wasn't too bad before he got hurt. He had 4 touchdowns on the year. Rookie Mingo, 2 touchdowns, 365 yards. Tommy Tremble didn't really make the impression I thought he was. I guess he's up there with like Mingo and them. And 355 and 2. Shi Smith had the one huge game with his 3 touchdowns. Ian Thomas was solid. Most sacks given up by Taylor Moton. That doesn't make any sense. He is our best offensive lineman. That wouldn't happen in real life, but this isn't real life. It's a video game. He gave up 15, followed by Bozeman and Cam Irving. Tackles, we are led by Shaq with the Madden inflated numbers of 191. Whew, that's impressive. Followed by Deion Jones with 152, Chin 121, Von Bell 117. Our safeties and middle linebackers getting it done. Tackles for loss, we are led by Shaq and Deion. Both had 25, 20 going to Burns. Burns also gets another double-digit sack tally this year. He had 12 last year. Let's double check. Pretty sure it's 12. Yeah, he had 12 last year. 11 this year. Good enough to lead us in sacks, followed by Derek Brown, Deion Jones, Shaq Thompson. Luvu, only 1. That's not good. He was a non-factor on the opposite side of the field. Especially coming from a 7-sack season last year. Had much higher hopes for Luvu. Did not pan out. And interceptions, we are led by J.C. Horn, who managed to stay healthy. So happy to see that. Dante Jackson, 3 interceptions. Von Bell had 2, Woods had 2, Taylor had 2, Shaq had 1. Chin only had 1. And kicking, Eddie Pinheiro, perfect, 26 for 26 with a long of 59. Man, actually for a second there, I thought we'd end up with more field goals than we did extra points. But he hit all his kicks. He was perfect. How many did he hit from 50 or more? 6 from 50 or more. Whew. Holy moly ravioli. And Johnny Hecker 15 inside the 20, only 3 touchbacks on his 49 punts. All right. Kick return actually was pretty, the numbers were pretty split right here, so I like to see that. Shi Smith, before we replaced him, had 33 for 685, and then Blackshear came in 36 for 786. So, Blackshear averaged about a yard more. So it probably was the right idea to switch them, and probably should have had Blackshear back there longer. Punt returns, Blackshear averaged 8 with 1 touchdown. Excellent. All right, and let's take a look at the league leaders. We're going to start here with passing. Leading the NFL in passing this year, Patrick Mahomes with 4,600 yards. Woo, doggy. That's a lot. He's followed by Aaron Rodgers, who stayed healthy and played pretty well. Matt Stafford behind him, and Dak Prescott. Bryce Young, actually, his 4,000, good enough for, what is that, 6th in the NFL in yardage. Not too bad. He also led the NFL in passing attempts. So, there you go. Touchdowns led by Patrick Mahomes with 42. Prescott had 39. Lawrence had 34. Stafford 32. Brock Purdy 30. All right. Interceptions, of course. Bryce Young, big number. 49. Brissett had 21. Fields had 20. Stafford and Mayfield both had 19. Couple guys here perfect. Who had the yeah, here we go. Patrick Mahomes, 74% completion percentage. Hot dog. Also averaging 275 yards per game. Man, nobody threw it more, huh? And he had the best passer rating too, followed by Lamar Jackson, the running back. Yards per attempt for a starter, Jared Allen, 8.8. Longest of the year goes to Desmond Ridder, had a 97-yarder. And Brock Purdy had a 92. Sacks here, Bryce Young with 50 leads the NFL, followed by Geno Smith at 41. So Carolina's offensive line not doing Bryce Young any favors this year. All right, and leading the NFL in rushing attempts, rookie Bijan Robinson with Atlanta with 129, just 4 more than our Miles Sanders. And leading in rushing yards, Derrick Henry, 1,600 yards, 11 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs just behind him with 14 touchdowns. And Miles Sanders had 15. There's a couple 1,500-yard guys here. Dalvin Cook had 1,500 yards in New York with 19 touchdowns, which, yes, is the most. Followed by Austin Eckler, Dameon Pierce, and Miles Sanders. Yards per game go to Jacobs, Henry, and Sanders, who all averaged over 90. Fumbles, Bryce Young giving up 9 of them, but for starting running backs, it is Cam Akers with 4. Breaking tackles, Dameon Pierce was a beast in his second year out of Florida. Followed by Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Austin Eckler, all with over 60 broken tackles. Miles Sanders, yards after contact, nearly doubled what Walker did. 637 yards after contact. Youngest looks like Kenneth Walker had a 100-yard rush in there. And Jamal Williams, 96. Ezekiel Elliott had 96. And James Robinson had a 91-yarder. Receiving, the NFL is led by Justin Jefferson. Kind of a big surprise there, right? 119 receptions this year. He's followed by Cooper Kupp with 105. Those are only 100 reception guys this year. And Cooper Kupp leads the NFL with 1,600 yards and 16 touchdowns. Very nice. He's followed by Justin Jefferson with a big 300-yard difference between the two. Brandon Ayuk finishes 3rd, Olave finishes 4th, Kelsey in 5th. Touchdowns, 16 for Kupp, 14 for Kelsey. James here had 13. Ayuk had 12. Gallup had 12. Not bad for those guys at all. Longest, Mac Hollins with that 92-yarder, or 97-yarder. And leading the NFL in tackles, of course, is Shaq Thompson and Deion Jones with their inflated Madden numbers. Same goes probably for tackles for loss, but you got us three. Khalil Mack with 24 just behind. And there's Trey Hendrickson and Jeffrey Simmons. Sack leader is Aaron Donald with 22.5, followed closely by the veteran Von Miller, still getting it done. Micah Parsons had 16, and then it drops off to Chris Jones at 12. Good job by those gentlemen. Interceptions, they are led by Marshawn Lattimore with 7. I'm sure we helped out. CJ Mosley had 7 as well. JC Jackson 6. Cole Holcomb had 6. Gilmore had 6. Murphy had 6. A lot of takeaways this year. And kicking, nobody kicked more field goals than our Eddie Pinheiro. And nobody hit anything longer than Eddie Pinheiro at 59. Jason Myers also had a 59-yarder. Tress Way leads the NFL in punts with 61. He also leads in total yardage, 3,133, followed a little bit by Jake Camarda for the Buccaneers, and Wisnowski from the Cardinals. Net yardage goes to Kamada with 2,917. Inside the 20, Sam Martin pinning people deep all year, followed by Tress Way, Matt Ariza, and our Johnny Hecker. Kick returns. The most go to Blackshear and Shi Smith because, well, our team was constantly getting scored on, so they had the most opportunities. No kick returns for a touchdown this year, and the longest was 35 by Blackshear and 34 by Smith. Interesting. Punt returns. Raheem Blackshear, 35, leads the NFL. His 285 lead in yards. And a couple touchdowns. Blackshear, Christian McCaffrey, the former Panther, Tony Pollard, and Stephon Diggs. And one interesting fact, regardless of how bad our defense, that is not an NFL record in total yardage, not by a long shot. The record is held by the 2012 New Orleans Saints, and that's just over 7,000 yards. So give us like maybe 1 or 2 more games and we would have been there. But it's not that bad yet. We did give up the most passing yards, big surprise there, and we gave up the second most rushing yards. We did, however, set an NFL record for the most points allowed. Previous total was 533, and that was done all the way back in 1981 by the then Baltimore Colts. Well, now it's the 2023 Carolina Panthers at 580. Carolina also comes in 4th in total sacks with 37. Bills lead that category. And we were 4th in fumble recovery, so our defense had some bright spots. We could force turnovers. We could sack the quarterback. If we didn't do that, we were giving up big plays. And the Cowboys lead the league in interceptions. Carolina not too far down there with 18. All right, and let's move on to the yearly awards. Here we got the NFL MVP, Patrick Mahomes. Big surprise there. Coach of the year will go to Arthur Smith of our rival Atlanta Falcons. Let's take a look here at the AFC. Patrick Mahomes, Offensive Player of the Year. Von Miller, Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Rookie, Anthony Richardson, beating out CJ Stroud. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Will Anderson Jr. Man, those Texans have a good young core. Best quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. Best running back, Austin Eckler. Best wide receiver, Richie James Jr., followed by Christian Kirk and Keenan Allen. O-line, Creed Humphreys. Man, Chiefs are racking up these awards. Best D-line, Von Miller. Best linebacker, Khalil Mack. Best DB, J.C. Jackson. Best kicker, Tanner Brown. And moving on to the NFC Offensive Player of the Year, Cooper Kupp, followed by Jalen Hurts, and in third are Miles Sanders. Defensive Player of the Year, Aaron Donald, big surprise there, and just based on number of tackles, Deion Jones and Shaq Thompson, 3rd and 4th. Also, Brian Burns down here in 8th. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Bijan Robinson. Mingo down here in 10th, and No Bryce Young. Big sad. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Brian Branch for the Lions. Followed by Foskey for the Saints. Any Panthers? No. Best quarterback, Dak Prescott. Best running back, Miles Sanders takes home that award. Excellent job. Best wide receiver, Cooper Kupp. Brandon Ayuk and Justin Jefferson right behind him. Best O lineman, Zach Martin. That's a big surprise. Best D lineman, Aaron Donald. Another huge surprise, man. Wow, these awards are wild. Best linebacker, Rashawn Gary, followed by Deion Jones, Brian Burns, and Shaq Thompson. Best DB, Marshawn Lattimore. Best kicker, Eddie Pinheiro. Didn't miss a single kick and kicked more than anybody else. And here we go. Tying the single season sack record, Von Miller and Aaron Donald this year, both having 22 sacks. And just creeping up the sack list, Von Miller just behind Dolman now with 143 career sacks. Sometime this year, he passed Michael Strahan of the Giants. All right, with that out of the way, let's advance to the divisional round of the playoffs. And here's how the wild card ended up. The Chiefs beat the Jets. The Eagles beat the Saints. Chargers beat up on the Steelers. Seahawks beat up on the Niners for the third time this year. Buffalo beats up on Jacksonville, and Minnesota gets the win against Dallas. Dallas playoff woes continue. It is not your year, Cowboy fans. And here is how the divisional round will shape up. We have the Chiefs and the Ravens, the Falcons and the Vikings, the Bills and the Chargers, the Eagles and the Seahawks. Battle of birds, man. There's a lot of birds. We got Ravens, we got Falcons, we got Seahawks and Eagles. Wild. So many bird teams. All right, let's advance to the conference championship. And the divisional round ended up like this. Baltimore beats up on KC in a high-scoring game. Atlanta takes a close one against the Vikings. Man, they are having an excellent year. Chargers barely escape Buffalo. And the Eagles get it done against Seattle. So it'll be Atlanta and Philadelphia. It'll be the Chargers and Ravens. All right, and we're going to move on to the Pro Bowl here. Let's take a quick look at the Pro Bowl rosters. They are led by quarterbacks Dak Prescott, Patrick Mahomes, Desmond Ridder makes it, Aaron Rodgers makes it, Geno Smith, wow, and Josh Burrow. Those are your quarterbacks. Running backs, Miles Sanders, Dalvin Cook, Aaron Jones, Austin Eckler, Bijan Robinson, Derrick Henry. That's loaded. Fullbacks, Prentice and Burton make it. Good for them. Also Ham and Beck. Let's see. Receivers, Cooper Kupp, Christian Kirk, Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs, Brandon Ayuk, James, Reed, Tony, Olave, Chase, Lamb, Woods. Good job. Tight ends, Kyle Pitts makes it. Kelsey, Hayden Hurst, 2 Panthers already. Good. Freiermuth, Ferguson, and Dawson Knox. And then along the line, we got Trent Williams, Tunsil, Smith, Slater, Jenkins, Nelson, Lewis, Thuney, Jensen, Lindsey, Ragnow, Humphrey, Zach Martin, Brandon Scherf, Lindstrom, Mason, O'Neal, Smith, Sewell, Collins. Man, those are some pretty good offensive lines. Defensively, Aiden Hutchinson makes it along with Razul? I'm sorry. Cameron Jordan makes it. Anderson makes it. The rookie. Good job for him. Aaron Donald makes it. Von Miller, Micah Parsons, Cam Hayward, Jared Allen. That might not be Jared Allen. I'm thinking of the old Viking. Chris Jones, Clark, Buckner, Hargrave, Tomlinson at linebacker. We got Gary Allen. Brian Burns makes it. Excellent. Mason Crosby, Deion Jones. Wonderful. Collins, Shaq Thompson, Bentley. Man, of course our linebackers would make it with those inflated stats. Davenport, Khalil Mack, Carter, and Wilson round out the linebackers. At corner, we got Marshawn Lattimore, J.C. Jackson, Brian Murphy, Jones, Hughes, Campbell, Jeff Okuda, and Sauce Gardner make it. And then finishing out the secondary, we got Lewisine, Joyner, Diggs, Reed, Smith, Fuller, Branch, McLean. And kickers, we got, wait, what? How is Pinheiro not the kicker? Okay. Nick Folk and Kai Fairbairn. Punters, Dixon and Martin. Returners will be Crowder, Hamler, Mims, and McFarland. Alright, let's take a look at who's going to be playing in this year's Super Bowl. It will be the Baltimore Ravens and the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles make it all the way from the number 2 spot. Having played in wild card round, they had to defeat the Saints, Seahawks, and the Falcons, and now they get one more bird they have to tear up. It's the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens, the number 1 seed in the AFC, had to go through Kansas City and the Chargers. They shut the Chargers out 17-0 in the championship game. They did not come to play that day, did LA? So we've got the Eagles and the Baltimore Ravens for our Super Bowl. Let's get on past the Pro Bowl here and get Super Bowl 58 underway. Alright, and here we are in Super Bowl week. We have the Eagles versus the Ravens. Let's see who's got it. Alright, and there you have it, folks. The Eagles win their 2nd Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts gets a MVP. Let's see. Eagles win 28-25 over the Baltimore Ravens. That's 2 Super Bowls in a row now for... Well, 2 Super Bowl appearances in a row now for the Eagles, having made it back in 2022. Alright, and that's going to do it for this video. That is the end of our first season. In the next episode, we're going to be moving on to the offseason. We're going to rebuild this team and hopefully make it much better and not historically terrible. We'll see. I don't know. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you guys in the next one.